taken or something like that? Because I don't think that. Do you think he deserved to be Wendy Williams? I don't feel
No,
like that. You see what I'm
no,
saying?
I don't
So
think.
I
I'm
don't.
not saying.
I don't. I
When
don't
I
want. I
say
wouldn't want
help,
to
I'm saying
come
where
off like
is his
that.
family that they're supposed to really care and
I
love
think his
him?
dad's still outside.
Why is he not helping and supporting him and getting him the help he
If
need,
Lil Major won't
counseling?
listen to me, if I don't won't listen to Cooney, what can they do for
Okay,
me?
what is this wife doing that he got to help him?
She left. She
Where's his
left.
support
She
team?
left.
She left him.
She left.
Okay, so where who is anybody there that's close enough to this man to say, hey, can we have a conversation? Hey, would you come and meet me and talk to me on a regular basis? Let's talk about what you got
Not
going
even
on.
that.
What about all the behaviors that he's been displaying as a cry for help is what I'm saying. I think him dressing up as a KKK, walking out with mask on his face, looking like he lost his mind, dressing with the big old shoe, all type. It's so many things that Kanye
Well, I mean,
random.
it do explain a lot of his tactics and antics. If he willing to come out and say the worst thing he can say about himself, and if it's factual that he actually went through that, then that's a different level of trauma that, you know what I'm saying, he got to sleep with that, and that's probably got to be tough. Ye drops shocking confession in graphic post. He says his cousin is locked in jail for unaliving a pregnant lady a few years after he told him that we wouldn't look at dirty magazines together anymore. This is Ye. Perhaps in my self-centered mess, I felt it was my fault that I showed him those dirty magazines when he was 6, and then we acted out what we saw. My dad had Playboy magazines, but the magazines I found in the top of my mom's closet were different. My name is Ye, and my cousins till I was 14. Now, your immediate reaction once you heard and seen the tweets, and I believe it's also a song called Cousins. I think you listened to the song as well. What did you think, and what was your reaction to that?
It explains a lot. I was in shock. I was just like, and I went back and read it again. It explains his cry for help. It explains his behavior. I feel personally like he may be having some type of identity issue with his sexuality, which explains why the woman he's married to now, he had her naked and just all the weird stuff that he's been doing and controlling in that situation made sense after reading that. As I continued to read it, I started thinking, okay, he said that he introduced his cousin, which to me indicated that his cousin is younger than him. So if your cousin is younger than you, and you were doing what you said to your cousin, I think maybe you admitting that or saying that is your way to deal with what you made your cousin do to you. Because I'm pretty sure you introducing him to the magazines is not the only thing you introduced to him, and now you feel guilty and
He
probably been
said
holding that.
he did say we acted out what we saw. And
Mm-hmm.
so he said we, not only him. And so he said what he did, but he didn't, you know what I'm saying, throw his cousin on the bus and say what he did also. But he did say we acted out. So that right there, I don't know, but you know what I'm saying, just going off what was actually said, I think there's a lot of trauma.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of I think there's a if this is true, I think it's a huge psychological release for Brother West, and that the world can also see and understand him a little bit better in some of the ways, some of the things that he does, says, and the way he's reacting to everything. You know what I'm saying? He's dealt with incest and sexual trauma as a younger man, which he's taking full responsibility for. So it sounds like was brought on by himself. You see what I'm saying? Could have nothing to do with parents or bad raising or anything. Kids do sneak off and do weird things, and that's why parents are supposed to keep a good eye on them. You know what I'm saying? That's why being sheltered is a good thing. I promise you. You know what I'm saying? Children shouldn't be feeling bad because they're not outside right now. But I do feel like that it explains a lot. Boosie said that it does explain a lot to him, and he said this man been doing this since he was a kid. And so that it do explain a lot of his tactics and antics. If he willing to come out and say the worst thing he can say about himself, and if it's factual that he actually went through that, then that's a different level of trauma that, you know what I'm saying, he got to sleep with that, and that's probably got to be tough.
I I definitely think it's a lot of trauma. I think when you hold, and I'm looking to see how. Okay, so Kanye's 47. So what's how many years is between 14 and 47? It doesn't matter. It's too many years to be holding something in that deep. And when you hold something in, it does eat at you. It plays with you. That's what probably brought on the mental illness and all this other stuff
I
that
think that's
comes.
33 years.
Yeah, that's a long time to hold something in. And my thing is, it's not about the raising of him and stuff, but I do think, and I'm just gonna take it there. I do think that we have to be careful, especially in our black community, of what we expose our children to, because you do have an enemy out there. And I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ, so I definitely think the enemy is always looking to get the children as young as they can. He's always looking. That's why you hear so much about people being molested and going through SA and so much at a young age, because he targets them as young as they can. This comes from exposure, and I'm just going off what he said, of some magazines that just was careless, left where kids can reach them, right? So when you're a child, and I'm just going off the age I heard, 6 years old, we know just from having a grandchild and being around some younger children how those years are so important, what you pour in the imagination, and you know what I'm saying, it kind of sets the tone what you put into a child at that age. So when you allow children to be exposed to this, or when they have been exposed, I can only imagine what their mind did with that. And then I can only imagine how the enemy came in with the lust and with the curiosity and all this stuff that was planted as a very bad seed, that it grew into something else. And you're talking about he just now at 47 able to let this out? That says a lot. And I think we have to do better in our community. When you go, so many people have been holding stuff in, and you wonder why. It's almost that saying where you say you never know what people are going through. You never know what they've been through. They be mad. They be bitter. They be angry. When you run across people who are just naturally angry about something, they're naturally hateful. They're naturally miserable. They're messy. They have all these characteristics because something was planted, that a bad seed was planted when they was young. We have to do better of telling people, go get the help you need. Talk about it. I'm a big advocate. I can't even say it. Advocate for counseling, therapy, and talking things out, because I know personally it's not healthy to hold stuff in. The sooner you get it out, the sooner you can hear yourself say it, you can own it, and you can move forward. But when you holding something in like that, and you talking about you just not almost 50 before you released it out, it definitely explains all the stuff that the mental illness and the behavior and the just saying crazy things and stuff, because you're having a battle with inside, and every now and then it's just blurting out stuff.
It makes the weird relationship with, his weird public relationship with Christ. It makes that seem like, oh, okay, that's why, you know what I'm saying? And it makes the situation with the children and the God complex with the women and the inferiority complex. Obviously, he has an inferiority complex because he needs to feel supreme over everybody. This just, I don't know, Kanye. This is just outside looking in. I could be definitely wrong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't be judging anybody. I'm not judging. I'm just saying what I've seen and noticed over the years.
Right.
Because I like Kanye. I think he's fly. But this explains a lot, and especially the God complex. You know what I'm saying? It definitely explains why he needs to be over situations and rule over everything. And, you know what I'm saying, the independent route that he's taking, like it explains a lot. You know what I'm saying? I hate that for him. That's a lot of trauma. I don't know anything about that. He got to live with that, like I said a minute ago. Like, I don't know. That's got to play out in his mind. And I feel like he has survivor's remorse from that, given the fact that his cousin, you know what I'm saying, is behind bars for life for a situation for unaliving a pregnant lady. You see what I'm saying? The trauma drove his cousin to life in prison. Do you see what I'm saying? And maybe he could have a survivor's remorse situation going on. He could feel guilty about that. You feel me? Knowing the part that he played psychologically with a 6-year-old that would damage and ruin him for the rest of his life. The cousin's 6. This is going to damage and ruin you.
But this is why it's so important to really have a relationship with Jesus Christ, to induce children to Jesus Christ at a very young age. It's so important to give them those morals, to teach them about scriptures and stuff. And I'm speaking of a person who has dealt with a lot of trauma, and it's easy to have survival remorse when you have, siblings or family members that was in the same situation that you were in, and it didn't go so well for them. So it is I think it's something that you may have to battle with, but you can't do it in your own strength. And I think a lot of times, and I don't know his relationship with God, but I think a lot of times Kanye, from on the outside looking in, has been trying to deal with things with his own strength. Maybe the male part of him that has that pride, don't want to ask for help, the male part of him. And so it is a good thing that he's finally able to talk about it and release it. That is the first step, you know what I'm saying, to recovering and getting through that. But it is so important. It is so important to seek the help. It's no excuse. I don't care what survivor remorse, whatever. It's no excuse to get the help that you need. Your destiny, your decisions, the things that you do is on you. And I think maybe he's on the right path. I mean, that explains why he was so rooting for Puffy. We don't know what was going on at the parties and if he was attending. It's just
No, we don't know. We was speaking off camera to my brother, and he said, "Man, we didn't understand back then because we wanted to spend the night here and spend the night there, and man, thank God that mom just wasn't with all that." And man, thank God that mom just wasn't with all that. Because who knows what goes on in other folks' households with other folks' children
right.
that don't come out for 33 years. Do you see what I'm saying? So, shout out to mom and dad for raising us, right? And keeping us near and close. Because anything could have happened and just nothing happened. I don't know nothing about none of this. Like, this is crazy to me. We're going to be lifting Kanye up in prayer. Seriously. You know what I'm saying? That's all you can do. But it makes the swastika chains make sense. It makes the all black KKK outfits make sense. Because if I've been through this, and I'm already a survivor of this and that and the third, you know what I'm saying? They took my kids. I gave fellatio to my cousin until I was 14, all that. I mean, my God, this is a KKK outfit. That's nothing for publicity and get some bag. I'm trying to get some bag.
I can't really look at that as a surviving anything or overcoming. I think he still has
Is he attention seeking? Is he doing this for attention? Is this another one of his attention joints?
I think he's been an attention seeker. Yeah, I think that's just a part of who he is. Is this the case
with this?
I don't know, and I don't think if it is, I definitely think he needs even more help. If that's what you're going to this extreme to do that, yeah, you need even more help if it is that. Like, it's just, I think this man been crying for help for so long, and somebody somewhere needs to care enough to help him, like really help him. I don't think he has survived or overcome a lot. I think he could be on the road if this is the truth and he's letting it out, but he has a ways to go. I don't think he's overcome. I don't think he survived. I think those are all just
to wholeness.
Yeah, I think he's bleed. I think him dressing up and saying certain things and all of that is not him overcoming or surviving it. I think those are signs of him bleeding out. This is what it looks like when you don't get help. They doing weird stuff and we think it's entertainment and we're thinking, oh, this is, but no, this is not healthy. This is not good. And then you're including other people and you procreating with children. Like, you're doing the most. You need to get some help. And I think it's our job as parents. You mentioned Mama Carolyn not letting y'all go certain places, well, thank God. Because it's our job as parents to do our best. And all you can do is your best, because there's no book that tells you how to be a parent. But it's our job to do our best to protect our children as the best way that we can. That means guard their eye gates, keep them as innocent as they can, as you can till they get a certain age. Don't let them see certain stuff. And especially in today's time, because it's way different than what we were. Now commercials and stuff it just pops up, where before it was certain shows they can tell you, oh, don't watch that or this and that. Now it's so much more important, and you shouldn't let your child go to any and everywhere or be to different places. You have to really, really cover and protect your child. And if you are a believer, it's definitely important to have a prayer life to pray over your family and children.
What did you personally take away from Kanye choosing to share this now?
What did I take away from him choosing to share now? I still think the same thing I thought before, that this man's sick and need help. Like he needs more help now than he did before.
Okay, you you keep referencing help. Do you feel like that this help should involve a facility or some rights taken or something like that? Because I don't think that. Do you think he deserved to be Wendy Williams? I don't feel
No.
like that. You see what I'm saying?
I don't.
So
I'm not saying, when I say help,
wanna
I'm saying
come
where
off like
is his
that.
family that they're supposed to really care and love
I think his
him?
dad's still outside.
Why is he not helping and supporting him and get him the help he
If
needs?
Lil Major
Counseling.
won't listen to me, if I won't listen to Cooney, what can they do for me?
What is this wife doing that he got to help him? Where's
She
his
left.
support team?
She left.
She left him?
She left.
Okay, so who is anybody there that's close enough to this man to say, hey, can we have a conversation? Hey, would you come and meet me and talk to me on a regular basis? Let's talk about what you got
Not
going
even
on.
that, to like a big uncle to say, hey, boy, you tripping.
Anything.
Not come talk to me, hey, to check
Yeah.
him. He ain't got nobody he's not checkable. That has a lot to do with his ego. He said it.
I don't know.
If I can't check you,
I just hope the
then
people
they
that
gonna
claim
they gonna Wendy Williams you.
I just hope the people that claim they love me and care about me and that say they there for me, if they see me like doing too much or out, and I thank God for the people who did when I were going through, that said something to me.
It took even you years to start listening. You was a young lady in those situations. It took you years to start listening. What I'm getting to is he's at a place where he cannot listen to nothing that you're talking about. I've been way too up, a multi-billionaire.
Then somebody put him in then you need to be put in a facility to make you get the help you need or the evaluation you need or the medication. I think, isn't he already on medication?
I think he's off the meds.
Okay,
obviously.
exactly. So who makes sure he get this medicine? Who is is there anybody that really care about him?
I don't think he needs I don't think he feels like he needs meds.
We're not talking about
because
what he
you say
feel
something
like.
because you say something about your past trauma doesn't mean that you should be institutionalized and or that you have some mental condition.
We're not just saying because he said something about his past trauma. We're talking about, okay, he has released and told us about his past trauma, but what about all the behaviors that he's been displaying as a cry for help is what I'm saying. I think him dressing up as a KKK, walking out with mask on his face, looking like he lost his mind, dressing with the big old shoe, all type. It's so many things that Kanye random say stuff and interview. Well, I'm just saying.
Everybody wear the big boots and the mask now.
Randomly, yeah, because he's Kanye and he has that type of influence on people. But the fact that he's used that influence to do dumb stuff like that, to me, that looked dumb and stupid and crazy. And anybody that followed that Lord, I hope you got it together because that just was retarded. But I don't know if we can say that word anymore, but that was foolishness. I don't like foolishness and nonsense. So a lot of stuff that Kanye has done has been foolishness and nonsense. You'd say just at an interview and say just random stuff that like you're not even talking about. You just to me, all of this has been behaviors. And now out of all the behaviors, you come and release this type of information, which says, oh, wow, this explains the behaviors. Somebody somewhere needs to reach him, whether it's put him in an institution, get him some evaluation. Like clearly he's been crying for help. Somebody go have a conversation with this man and see what to make. Because sometimes just talking about it helps, like having a safe place to talk and vent and share your experiences and knowing that, what I'm saying, it just releases. It starts a healing process. And I just think maybe this opened a little door. Maybe he did it for attention. I don't know. But somebody somewhere got to care enough about him to go see about him. That's all.
I agree with that. If you're out there and you need some help with anything, situations like these, it's 24/7 hotline you can call 800-656-HOPE. 800-656-HOPE. That's all we got. That's major. And we're going to be lifting Kanye up in prayer. And that's all we got, guys. Watch this video right here.
It's major.